Idaho has been a popular destination over the last several years, with people migrating into the state. But not everybody who comes here stays. Many decide this just isn't what they signed up for, and they move back or they move on. So let's explore some of the reasons why those who choose to move here don't stay. And please share your thoughts and feedback along the way, because I would love to hear from you on what might cause you to move back out of a state you just moved to. One of the primary reasons people choose to make a move to Idaho, especially from, say, California, is the cost of living. And it truly is, in fact, less. Utilities are less, everyday living expenses are less. But when it comes to housing, how much less is it? And that's where there's this affordability disconnect. And for many people, that's a hard pill to swallow. They look at Idaho and they expect housing prices to be this steal. Why can't I buy acres of land with a huge home for a couple $100,000? And there was a time when that was possible, maybe 15 or 20 years ago. Now people make this big life change to save money and find that although Idaho may be more affordable, it's not as wide a divide as they were expecting. So the result is maybe they rent for a while, and then when they aren't able to find that dream home at a spectacular price, they head back to California or they move on to Texas or Tennessee. So our job market is another reason why folks may not stay and don't choose to make Idaho their forever home. A couple different things happen. Either they move here without securing a position first, and then they struggle to find what they want. Either they're overqualified or pay may be a step down from what they're used to. I've also seen it where a family moved here because they had the ability to work remotely at the time, and it was great for those couple of years until whomever they worked for decided that they needed to be back in the office physically, if not full-time, maybe even part-time, and having to commute back and forth was just not a feasible option. So here's a question I'd pose to you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important would moving to a city that has a robust job market be for you? Like, are you able to work from home, or do you have to live wherever the action of that industry is happening? Let me know in the comments below. Idaho is a very friendly place, and it's very slow paced, but that certainly isn't for everyone. Sometimes you get clients who move here thinking that they want to slow down, that they want to talk to the cashier at the grocery store about their day, but that doesn't feed their need for energy. Yes, we've got all the outdoor activities that you could ever imagine for adventure, but clients might not be looking for that. They may be looking for something different, like a different kind of adventure or culture. They might be looking for nightlife or super social events or a wide array of cultural experiences. And quite frankly, we just don't have a lot. We have some, but if that's what you want to do on the daily, it may not be enough to feed your soul. So those folks come, they realize that it's just not the adventure they were looking for, and they move on. My name is Toffel, Global Real Estate Advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping folks relocate to Boise, Idaho, and the surrounding cities. And for the most part, those I help stay, because we have long conversations and we set expectations up front on what Idaho is and what it is not. So if you're looking for help with any of your real estate needs, reach out. My information is on the screen. And if you're watching on your television, please feel free to click the QR code to contact me directly. Idaho is a polarizing topic. Sometimes people overlook that in their research, and they move here expecting it not to be as conservative. And there are pockets where you'll find more progressive or liberal policies, like in Boise, but it can be generally surprising for some. And if you're not comfortable with the values or the framework of the state, then you may not choose to stay. Some move here expecting all of their family to follow them in that migration. And after having been here for a couple of years, perhaps the family members have not moved as originally planned. I see this a lot with elderly parents who follow the kids, or the plan was to have them follow the kids at some point, but then they get to an age where a move is just not possible or feasible. So the children have to move back to wherever it was that most of the family is from to take care of those elderly parents. In my experience, most of the time though, once somebody gets up here, they don't want to move back, and their family eventually does follow. Of course, we can't ignore Idaho's weather. Although we have 3 seasons of beautiful weather, spring, summer, fall, they really are quite perfect. But we get snow, and we have 4 months of cold weather. Coming from sunny Southern California, or even some more temperate locations, The threat of continued winter scares them into moving back to their warmer temperatures. If you've moved from a major city, you may have had more healthcare options. And depending on your medical needs, services here may feel limited. We have great access to primary physicians and some specialists, but we don't have those super subspecialists that you see for complicated conditions. And when something like that arises, it's a very personal decision to be closer to diverse healthcare options and a robust selection of specialists. And finally, some families don't stay because of the education system. Our system here is good, and in my view, it's what you make of it. But every parent has a very nuanced look at what education options they want for their children. And in some circumstances, Idaho doesn't provide what they need, whether it's international school options, although we do have a few, or highly competitive public schools or private schools, or even just access to more colleges and universities. We have good schools, but sometimes it's just not enough, depending on where somebody is moving from and what they are looking for. Idaho is a great place to live, but it certainly is not for everyone. And I find that it tends to be a very hot topic, more polarizing than I would have ever imagined. Idaho is a quieter state. It trends conservative. It's a smaller populous state. So yes, even though it appears over the last handful of years, everyone has been moving to Idaho, there are in fact people migrating out as well because we just aren't a right fit. For more videos about Boise, Idaho, click on one of the other videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.